morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Shweta Walke, Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, and I welcome you all to 114th meeting of Speakers Squad Toastmaster Club. Before we start the meeting, I would like to lay out the basic ground rules. There are 3 rules. First, keep your phones on silent mode. Second, be on video as much as possible. Third, avoid talking about sex, religion, and politics. As everyone in their life has a mission, we at Toastmasters Club also have a mission. Mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a positive learning experience and mutually supportive environment to all the members in which they have the opportunity to work on their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater personal growth. With this, I would like to invite the presiding officer for today's meeting to start the meeting. Please welcome President of our club, the fitness enthusiast, Toastmaster Richard.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta. Good morning, everyone. I am so excited and elated, even though I cannot walk around much. Good morning, everyone. And Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization, educational organization to be precise, that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. Its headquarters is in Colorado. The organization membership is approximately 280,000 in more than 14,700 clubs in 144 countries. Since 1924, Toastmasters International has helped people from diverse backgrounds become more confident speakers, communicators, and leaders. So without further ado, I would like to call this meeting to order. Now, I was thinking, what should I say to start off this meeting? And I have this beautiful story. One day, a grandfather told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between the two wolves, which is inside all of us. One is evil. The bad wolf represents anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow. The other is the good wolf. The good wolf represents love, peace, joy, and hope." So the grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf wins? The grandfather simply said, the one that you feed every day. So in other words, the choices we make every day determines which wolf we feed. If we choose to focus on the negative, the bad wolf will grow stronger. If we choose to focus on the positive, then the good wolf will grow stronger. Do we have any guests today? So if there are, please help me out. The unfamiliar names is what I will call out. Do we have Jisha today? Jisha, you're a guest?
Yes, I am.
Good morning, Jisha. So I want 3 things from you. Introduce yourself, where do you work, and how did you hear about Toastmasters?
All right. So the first part, introduction, which I think you all know right now, it's Jisha. Right. I work with Mintra. I joined very recently. I relocated to Bangalore. I'm in Bangalore right now. I had taken a career break of 3 years, medical reasons. One of it is the anxiety issue, which I am going through right now. Trust me on this, right? I am getting the anxiety pangs, right? So that's a bit about myself. Well, if you want to know the function, then I work as a HR. Yeah, one of the reasons why I thought I should come as a guest to Toastmasters. How did I hear about Toastmasters? I've always heard about Toastmasters Club. Uh, it's just that, I thought I should get over the anxiety issues I have right now, a lot more than I used to have earlier, maybe because of the career break. And I just browsed and figured out what are the options that I have. I figured there's an online option right now, maybe post-COVID is, how it happened. But then, yeah, I just decided to send a message and I got a response from Ms. Jaya. That's about it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jisha, and I hope you get more out of this session, and we would love to hear from you soon, and you recover from your anxiety attacks and get better soon as well. Do we
Thank you.
have any other guests? From what I see, I don't see any other guests. Okay, without any further ado, let me introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Before I do that, I have a couple of questions. And these are the funny dad jokes that I make every week now. Satya has woken up. How did the man get fired from the Tata salt factory? Any guesses? He was too salty. What do you call a group of Pepsi drinkers? A refreshment. So the common theme between these two questions are the brands in itself, Tata and Pepsi. So we will hear more from this from our Toastmaster of the day. She's a native of Delhi, but she was born in Calcutta and brought up in Vizag. She's currently an AVP with Citibank, and her hobbies include gardening, listening to music, and tidying up her house. Please welcome Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richard. Good morning, everybody. Before we go ahead, let me acknowledge the presence of Area F3 Director and Area F4 Director. Thank you so much for joining in for the Speaker Squad Toastmasters session. With that, are we all ready to embark on this journey of brands today? All right. Oh, for a second, I thought Satya has written go villain. So I was like, okay, I'm already the villain in the start of the session. All right. So brands. Before I go on about it, what's the first brand that comes to your mind when I say this word?
Mango.
Okay. All right.
Ferrari. Maggie.
Maggie, yes. Okay. I'm sure you're going to have Maggie today. Any other?
Ferrari.
Okay. Nice.
Tata.
Nice way to
Tata.
start dreaming.
Reliance.
Fanta.
Microsoft, the one app that we are having meeting in.
Right.
Teams.
Right.
It's a brand of its own.
Absolutely, yes. And before everything else, do you realize that you yourselves are brand ambassadors as well of one very big brand that we are here for?
Toastmasters.
Yes. So we are also brand ambassadors in our own right for the biggest brand for in our lives, that is Toastmasters. But today, since Richard has already covered about Toastmasters, I don't want to beat it. Let's jump on to the brands. From the time we wake up to the time we sleep, we touch upon so many brands, from the toothbrush that we use, the toothpaste, the shower gel, the coffee that we drink, the clothes we wear, the earpods that we are using right now. Our life revolves around brands. But how much do we know about our own brands? Some common fun facts about brands I have collated. Do you wish to see that? All right, let's just go for it. I'll quickly share my screen. Let me figure out where the share is right here. All right, so let's know our brands better. You see this now. Okay, how many of you have, now you have to unmute yourselves because I'm sharing my screen. How many of you have Geo network? Okay, unmute.
We have Richa and Shweta. I think
Okay,
Richa.
fine. All right. Great. So do you know how we got the name Geo? It is, if you look closely, you know that Geo actually is from Reliance, which deals with oil. If you see the reflection of oil, the mirror reflection, it comes and becomes the word Geo. That's how the word Jio was coined and given the name by the Reliance Industries for their mobile network. That is a fact about the name, how it was coined for Jio. Next, Amazon. We all use it day in and day out, but like everything else, Amazon logo also speaks a few words about what they deal with. You see the yellow arrow connecting A and Z. What does that mean? It has a meaning behind it, and that is to show that on Amazon you can purchase anything from A to Z across all categories. So that is something that they have iterated and put a spotlight on with that yellow arrow you see under the word Amazon. Next, Amul. Now, is Amul the real name of this brand called Amul?
Anand Milk Unit
Or is
Limited.
it an abbreviation?
It was something to do with the group collective or something. I don't remember exactly,
Anand
but it was
Milk
an
Unit
association
Limited.
of milk products or milk deliverables, and that's how it became Amul.
Yes, but Amul is an abbreviation actually. The full form is Anand Milk Union Limited. And it started off in a small township called Anand in Gujarat. And then eventually, with its popularity, the name got shortened and they called it Amul. It actually started off to liberate the women of Gujarat, especially in that township of Anand. But the kind of reputation it gained, the kind of popularity they gained, it's now a world brand. So yes, Amul is actually Anand Milk Union Limited. Next, okay, now I'll stop and I'll stop sharing as well. We'll go into other details later. And for now, let's move on with our session. And that is divided into 3 parts. For the benefit of guests, every regular Toastmaster session has 3 parts. The prepared speech section, where the speakers deliver their prepared speeches as per their speech objectives with the help of their mentor and their own preparation prior. Second part is the table topic section. This is one of the most fun elements of every Toastmasters session, wherein a table topic master comes on the stage, prepares a few topics in advance, and asks for volunteers. Guests are more welcome than anyone else. They have to come up and they'll be given a topic impromptu, and the speaker needs to speak for just 2 minutes about whatever comes to their mind regarding that topic. This helps us think on our feet and act spontaneously. The last section, that's the third section, is the evaluation section. Now, evaluation is breakfast for speakers. It is all our meals for Toastmasters. Evaluation helps us look back and better ourselves, learn from our mistakes, and come out better in the following sessions. For the evaluation, we have a big fat team. We have a general evaluator who will come up with their own tag team to help with the timer cards, with the R counter, and the grammarian report as well. More about all that from our general evaluator today. Our general evaluator is freshly minted distinguished Toastmaster. She is the BPPR of Speaker Squad. So all the beautiful posters that you see have been designed by her. She has served as area director for Division D last year. She has also served as VP Ed for Speaker Squad last year. So let's welcome DTM Richa. Over to you, General Evaluator Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Hello, everyone. A very good morning to everyone present in this meeting. And I see a very healthy number in the meeting today. We all are discussing about brands, isn't it? One question. Do you think these brands became brands overnight? Toastmaster Richard is going, no. Of course, no. Then what did they do to become the brands that we think the stalwarts that they are, right? One thing which I can think of is that they introspected, they took the feedbacks, they evaluated themselves over time and kept on improving day in and day out. That's where we as Toastmaster are also known for. feedbacks, evaluations, and improving ourselves constantly. So here I am with the general evaluation team, which will help us all know what are our areas where we can improve on and what are the areas we are really good at. So let's get started with the first uh, team member that we have for today is the role of timer, which is played by someone who loves this role of timer because he can time himself also while giving his own speeches. I have never been able to do that, and he is also a government technician at Lifestyle International Private Limited, and his hobbies include sports, networking. I personally believe or think of him as the humor king of Speaker Squad Toastmasters Club. With that, over to you, Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. It was a great introduction. It's really overwhelming me. Today, as a timer, my role is I will time the table topics, formal speeches, as well as the evaluation, which is going to happen throughout the meeting. So I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards. For the benefits of the newcomers as well as the guests, so even though we don't have a icebreaker speech, for the icebreaker speech, the allowed time is 4 to 6 minutes. After 4 minutes, I will change my background to green. After 5 minutes, I'll change the background to yellow. After 6 minutes, I'll change my background to red. This is for the icebreaker speech. For the prepared speeches, the allowed time will be 5 to 7 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll change my background to green. After 6 minutes, I'll change my background to yellow. After 7 minutes, I'll change my background to red. For the table topic speakers, the allowed time will be 1 to 2 minutes. After 1 minute, I'll change to green. After 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll change from green to yellow. After 2 minutes, I'll change my background to red color to get to know the time. For the evaluation, the allowed time will be 2 to 3 minutes. After 2 minutes, I'll change my background to green. After 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll change my background to yellow. After 3 minutes, I'll change my background to red. So after red card, there will be an allowed time of 30 seconds. Within that, the speakers, the evaluator, have to be finished their speech and have to hand over the stage to the next person. So this is from my end. I will come up with a detailed report at the end of the session when general evaluator called upon for the detailed report. Over to you, Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh. For all the speakers who take the stage today, please note Ramesh will be changing the background as he showed. So make sure you pin him because Teams videos keeps on moving haphazardly here and there. The next role taker or the next team member for the GE team we have is the R counter. And today, this role is taken by someone who is an assistant manager at EY. Regardless of her position at EY, she is an avid reader, a gardener, loves to try new ways of organizing home. And from when I met her zeal to learn and know something or anything about Toastmaster was something which caught my attention. And I really think that we all should be a child at heart like the way she is. So welcome. Let's welcome Toastmaster Nivedita for our counter role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richa. All right. Hi, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of the R counter is to note the words and the sounds that are used as crutch or a pause filler by anyone who speaks in the meeting today. During the meeting, I will listen to the overused words, which includes and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for the filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I or this means, that means, at the end of the meeting, I will present my report, which highlights the number of times that each speaker has used these expressions. So, yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nivedita, for introducing the R counter role for the day. Moving on to the next role that we have in the general evaluation section, we have role of grammarian, and for that we have someone who again loves taking this role because she does so fantastic, does this role so fantastically. someone who is a program manager by the day and a bookworm by the night. And I think every time she takes the stage as a grammarian, we get to learn a lot, or at least I get to learn a lot. So here's welcoming Toastmaster Srija on the stage for the role of grammarian.
Hey, thank you, Richa, and good morning, everyone. So my role as a grammarian is to watch out for the usage of the language. So I'll keep a note of good usage of the language as well as incorrect usage of the language. My job is also to share the word of the day. So allow me to share my screen. If you can see my screen. So the word of the day is vamoose. Vamoose is a verb, means to leave quickly. Example would be, as soon as the police arrived, the suspect vamoosed from the scene. Can anyone guess the origin of this word?
Is it by any chance the Spanish word vamos?
Yes, you're right. Spot on. Its origin is from vamos. Yeah, that is, let's go. Okay, so I can't keep this as a background because I don't know, Microsoft Teams doesn't allow that. So again, reiterating, word of the day is vamos. Let's all try to use this word in today's session. I shall present my report once the general evaluator calls me. Over to you, Toastmaster Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So, as I said, everything new, and vamoose is a word which I never thought is a part of English dictionary now. Let us all not vamoose from this meeting, but stay here, enjoy it until for the next 1 hour or so, and get to learn a lot. With that, this is the evaluation section. We all will come with our report. Along with the tag report, there will be a report on how the meeting went, be it time-wise, energy-wise, the speakers, the evaluators, the role takers, everyone will get some or the other feedback if you have taken the stage. I will come at the end of the session, which is the third segment, the general evaluation segment, and we all will be sharing a report. Until then, enjoy the meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richa. You literally vamoosed from there in a hurry to resume the session. Excellent. Now, before we start the first section, that is the prepared speech section, a few more tidbits about brands. What goes behind it? You must have seen how few brands which were nowhere in the picture suddenly come up with fantasy ads, with nice posters, and they tend to grab the eyeballs of the users, by the purchasers, by the market. But what happens behind? Till few years back, I may say, like maybe before the pandemic or way before that, brands were a thing which people used or consumed to mark their standard of living, to mark their territory in society. Brands actually defined people's standard of living. But now things have changed. People have become more aware. People have become more socially responsible. They have become more conscious of what kind of brands they want to welcome in their lives. Is it vegan? What's the carbon footprint? Is it plastic free? There's so many other questions that people have started questioning to understand which brand they want to choose from the market, right? So these are the things that also define how the brands need to market themselves. Because gone are those days where brands used to choose their customers. Now customers actually have a choice of choosing their own brands. So obviously brands have to oblige. So there are a few marketing strategies with which few of the brands actually used so well. To start off with is Apple. They came up with a campaign of short on iPhone. You must have seen at number of bus stops in Bangalore and other cities, instead of a normal ad on top of the bus stop, they had actually put up photos taken by normal Apple phone users and showcased them on public areas. Why did they do that? To be more relatable, to stop being a brand which was only for the elite, only for some unknown strata of the society. So they encouraged users of Apple iPhone to take photos, send it across to them, and they would select some and then showcase them in the respective cities. This actually boosted the Apple iPhone purchase by the customers and the popularity of Apple in a country like India. There's another brand named Nike. Nike also came up with a brilliant marketing strategy while showcasing their or introducing their new pair of shoes. Let me get you the name of those shoes. It is Nike Epic shoes. What did they do? They came up with a video game which could be played on anyone's mobile only when you were running on the treadmill. So, two things, it was a win-win. People downloaded that on their phone and could only use that while they were working out in the gym, running on the treadmill, wearing Nike's shoes. So the popularity, of course, the purchase of the shoes, of course, and the brand Nike itself was in everyone's phone. So these are the few strategies that brands use to understand what the audience wants, not by just putting up glossy posters or coming up with fancy ads. Lot more about brands, but for now, let's quickly start our first section for today. That's the prepared speech section. So today we will be having two prepared speeches. To start with, our first speech, that is by Toastmaster Shreya. Let me first call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Amala. Toastmaster Amla is from Dell Supti, software developer, Toastmaster since 2018, has served various Club XCOM roles, currently serving as VP Education for Dell Supti Toastmasters Club, likes traveling, reading novels, painting, and drawing. Let me welcome Toastmaster Amla to please share the speech objectives for our first speaker today. Over to you.
Thank you, TM. Today, Toastmaster Shreya is giving her level 3 project 3 from Engaging Humor. Her project is focused on the positive. The purpose of her project is to practice being aware of her thoughts and feelings, as well as the impact of responses from others. She also will be sharing her experience completing the project. What I will be looking in her speech today is the growth or improvement based on her experience, and how she has worked on the negative responses and how she has overcome and reframed in a positive way. And the speech should not be a report of the content or focus on positive project. All the very best, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amala. Let's welcome our first speaker for today, Toastmaster Shreya. Shreya is from Morgan Stanley Toastmasters Club, is serving as VP membership in Morgan Stanley, joined Toastmasters to make new friends and improve her public speaking. She is a movie buff. She bakes when she is happy and she bakes when she is sad. Let's welcome Toastmaster Shreya, mindfulness in the age of overthinking. Mindfulness in the age of overthinking, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I'll just pin the timer. Okay. There is a quote that goes, "Quiet the mind and the soul will speak." A very profound quote, but it is something everyone struggles with. Raise your hand if you too have been a victim of overthinking while selecting a movie to watch on Netflix. Okay, I see some hands. I want to watch something fun and nice during my break time, and I spend the whole time just selecting what to watch, not having enjoyed my break, and an additional headache for choosing what to select. So I think all of us can relate on that. Raise your hand if you too have struggled in selecting a meal when trying to order from Zomato or Swiggy. Yeah, I can see some hands. Many a times I try to order dinner when there's no time to cook, and I spend so much time overthinking on what to order that the restaurant itself closes its delivery. And if there's one thing about me that you don't know, is that mindfulness is not my forte. I tend to overthink. I overthink so much that I make a pros and cons list about overthinking. It may seem productive to make a pros and cons list and go over every detail, but like D on a Rameshwaram cafe dosa, I don't have a limit. But there was this one instance that made me look at overthinking through a lens. Recently, I noticed that my neck was swelling, and I asked my mom what could be the reason. My mom, being an overthinker herself, told me that it could be thyroid. She then maps all the people in our family who has had this endocrine disorder and says, yes, this disorder runs in our family, and since it's genetic, you have a high chance of getting it. I have been hearing this thyroid diagnosis from many aunties from when I was a kid. Since I always had like a slightly fat protruded neck, and I was always a chubby kid. So I decided what any sane person would do when they are sick. I asked Google. I looked up the symptoms of thyroid. Anxiety, check. Difficulty concentrating, check. Fatigue, check. Swollen neck, check. Hair loss, check. Heat intolerance, check. So basically, I had all the symptoms. And that's when my life flashed before my eyes. Because thyroid cannot be cured, it can only be controlled. My suspicion deepened, and for the next week, I was driven into panic mode. I asked all my friends who had thyroid how did they know and when to take a test? What were the medications they were prescribed? How did the medication affect their life? What were the side effects? I called up my aunt who also has this disorder and asked her so many questions that at one point she stopped picking up my calls. The next step was acceptance. And this was particularly hard because I had to accept that even if I had thyroid, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. If Gigi Hadid and Sofia Vergara can live their life flawlessly after this diagnosis, well, so can I. I had researched the different medications and the potential side effects, and I also had a list of the top 5 endocrinologists that I could book an appointment with. This selection has been done based on Google reviews, so you know it has been a very, very time consuming selection. That fateful day had come. I went to visit the doctor, and the first 10 minutes went by as my mom was just complaining to the doctor about my lifestyle, sleeping late, eating too much food, not working out, the usual stuff. I, however, was too worried to react, so I dived straight into the questions. I asked the doctor, which medicine would you prescribe for me? Is it Levitra, Synthroid? Do I have to give up eating carbs or non-veg? Is there any side effects to these drugs? Am I prone to depression if I do have these side effects? The doctor, however, was overwhelmed by my research and she said stoically, first get diagnosed with it and then I will let you know. A fair response. I began to ponder the meaning of life as I vamoosed to the pathology lab. With this one diagnosis, my entire lifestyle has to change. Why was I so careless to even bring my health to this point? Why wasn't I more careful? I sat there pondering until I saw the injection. And that's when my mind went blank with fear. Now, instead of overthinking about my life, I was overthinking of how drawing blood could end my life. What if they can't find my nerve and if they have to poke multiple times? What if an air bubble went in and I died? What if it hurts like being stabbed, like how they show in the movies? But during all these thoughts, the nurse was able to successfully draw blood, and she was, after all, a professional, right? The next 4 hours were the most grueling 4 hours. I had to sit and wait for the results, and my mind would not keep quiet. After lunchtime, I finally got the report, and as I clicked download, I could hear my heart beating in my chest. I scrolled to the result page, and to my surprise, and by the grace of God, my thyroid levels were normal. I don't have the disorder. Looking at these numbers, I couldn't help but have tears in my eyes because all my life, people kept diagnosing me based on external factors. I still was not free from it because I can get it anytime and I have a high chance because it runs in my family. But now I have time to fix my lifestyle and prevent it. I guess I did not have fatigue like what the Google answers showed me. I was just lazy. And for the first time, I was happy being lazy than having any hormonal issue. But as I scrolled through the page, I noticed my cortisol levels were very high. Cortisol is a stress hormone and it happens to be high with people who have high anxiety. So I knew what to do. I had to reduce my stress, which means I have to reduce my overthinking. I tried a wide range of activities. I danced more, I cooked more homemade food, I baked more, I indulged in my favorite shows, but nothing seemed to stop the noise in my head. At this one point, I'm just trying to distract my thoughts and ignore them, but I want to face them. So I took a more rigorous approach. I tried meditation. And I know this may seem relaxing to people, but for me, it's terrifying. It was like I'm locked in a dark room with all my fears in front of me. Meditation, meditation was not relaxing for me, since all the thoughts I tried to distract myself from are now in the spotlight. But I feel true meditation is not about having good thoughts. It's about facing your bad thoughts and letting it go. And that could be very horrifying because some thoughts are just thoughts you don't agree with, you don't believe in. I'm still on the journey to reduce the noise in my head, but I feel I'm one step closer to achieving that. So, how can we practice mindfulness in the age of overthinking? We can face those negative thoughts head on and don't give it the power to affect us. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya. I think that was food for thought for all of us. I think today, especially when we are starting our weekend, let's not overthink. Let's just be mindful about everything that we do. And like you said, just go with the flow. Wait for the results before you even anticipate what disease you are going through and imagining the consequences of it. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya. I think that relates to all of us for whichever situation we are in, whichever phase we are in our lives. With that, let's move on to our second speaker for today. Before I call upon our second speaker, let me call upon our evaluator. He is Toastmaster Satya from JPMC Toastmasters Club, serving as Area Director for Area F4 in Division F. Toastmaster Satya has been part of Toastmasters since a number of years, and I will not call him lazy anymore because that's just a mask that he puts on. He's very efficient, one of the most active members of JPMC Toastmasters Club, one of the most helping hands as well for Speaker Squad whenever we do end up having an issue with the open role. He's always there to help us and always has our back. So without further ado, let's welcome Toastmaster Satya to please call out the speech objectives for our second speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Satya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. My speaker today will be doing his L2P3, which is Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. The objective of the speech is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring and also for the member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a prodigy. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to my speaker. Over to you, Ritika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya. Moving on, let's quickly welcome our second speaker for today, Toastmaster Sandeep. Toastmaster Sandeep is also from Morgan Stanley Toastmasters Club, one of the best Toastmaster clubs in Division F in District 92 as well. Toastmaster Sandeep is serving as Area Director for Area F3 in Division F. Again, one of the most meticulous and diligent members of Toastmasters. He has served as a club officer a number of times in his own club, has also served as the contest master for the area contest, for the division contest, and I'm telling you, he's so diligent with all the contestants. It's as if he's contesting himself. So let's quickly welcome Toastmaster Sandeep, speaking beyond boundaries. Speaking beyond boundaries, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Good morning, everyone. Who is a mentor? Is he a person who bosses around? Or he is a person who appreciates everything what you do, no matter good or bad? Or is he a person who understands your shortcomings, guides, and mentors when required? Who all here are privileged to get mentored by somebody over here? Please have a raise of hands. Awesome. I too have that privilege. But before that, a couple of years ago, I had this question. I used to hear that one day I'm mentored by somebody, oh, I'm getting coached by this person. I have a life coach. I used to feel, where do you even find these guys? Do you find it in your office? Did you get to know about your mentor through your family circle? Or even better, did you get to meet him in your friend circle? I looked around in these three circles and didn't find any because all my friends were like me who needed more mentoring than me. So in relative circle, they used to have that decade-year-old or even older mindset. Luckily, I got to meet my mentor through my senior in office. Meeting him for the first time, listening to all his accomplishments, I felt this is a guy. I need to surrender to him and get mentored. Because his accomplishment was not just in one area, he had accomplished in all areas of life, financially, professionally, education, and he was also a Toastmaster. Then my journey with him started, but there were a lot of on and off. Why? Why they were on and off? Because I thought mentoring means only reaching out to him when I have excelled in something. Because I get that pat on the back. Hey, nice work, nice work. But I fail to understand. I need to reach out to my mentor when I'm at my lowest, when I need help. After some time, I found out no matter I'm getting mentored, my life isn't going much anywhere else. It is in the same place. Then one day I mustered strength and told to my mentor, sir, this is what is happening. I am unable to tell my shortcomings to you, and I failed in so many places. And the reaction, what I was expecting in my mind is he would blast me and tell, hey, why didn't you tell me earlier? You don't understand this, or why can't you tell this? No, his reaction was calm. He said, okay, I understand what happened. Don't worry. What happened is happened. We can't change that. He made me understand the importance of mentorship. And he told a fantastic example from a book. In a book, it was told a flight takes off from Los Angeles to New York. And during the whole course of the flight, the plane would be in constant communication with the ATC. Why? Don't they have a route map? They do. But a 1 degree deviation would result in hundreds of miles away from their destination. The same thing here in life. When we are targeting a goal, we want to achieve something, one small deviation due to life challenges would result in a major deviation, and getting back from there would take a lot of time. I implemented this approach. Whenever major challenges used to come to my life, I used to reach out to him and take his guidance. Moving forward, couple of years, I got elected as the president of the club. I was like, wow, I am the president now of the club. Oh, seeing aa gaya. I got that. Oh, when I started, look, I designed this many goals I need to achieve for my club. And whenever my officers or my members didn't achieve or didn't do the things, in my mind I used to get furious. Hey, why? Don't you know? It's a simple task. I could have done this in my sleep. Why can't you do it? But before talking to them, I used to use the approach my mentor is to implement. That is feel, felt, found approach. I used to feel why they didn't do it, for what challenges they had, and implement a solution based on what they can do it. A personalized solution. This helped me take a smooth ride and avoid stress as possible. And now, as the area director, I get stressed even further because I have a bigger role and bigger circle to guide and mentor. But whenever before I reaching out to them, I rant out by myself, lower my stress, and then reach out to them. Hey boss, tell me what challenges you're facing. How can I help you? How can I guide you? A mentor is someone who guides and mentors, not a person who bosses around. With that, I would like to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep. Another very insightful speech by you. And of course, unless you don't feel your mentees, unless you don't understand where they are coming from, I don't think we can be a good mentor. And thanks a lot for giving us examples of how you dealt with your own stress and now how you are working with your own mentees, understanding their situation. Thank you so much once again. Let's all of us give a big round of applause for both our speakers today, Toastmaster Shreya and Toastmaster Sandeep. Now it's time for our second section, that is the table topic section. But before that, let's quickly play a game and then move on with our table topic section. Are you all game for it? Very, very easy. Okay, I've just kept it nice and short for all of you. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, all right. Okay, this is about taglines, and again, I have shared my screen, so you'll have to just unmute and just shout out your answers. It's super, super easy. Okay, so let's give all of you 5 seconds to unmute yourselves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. The tagline will be coming up on the screen. You'll have to guess which brand it is for. Okay. All right. Think different.
Lenovo.
Whose tagline is this? Okay. Any more guesses?
HP?
Think harder. Okay.
Is it Apple?
It's Apple.
Apple.
Yes, it's Apple. Okay, moving on. Girls, you should know this.
L'Oreal. L'Oreal.
Right. Our Aishwarya Rai movement. All right, moving on. The
Amul.
of India.
Amul.
Amul. Yes. And who remembers the full form of Amul?
Anand Milk.
Anand Milk.
Union Limited.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Anand Milk is Amul.
Good team effort.
Good team effort. I know. All right. Life's good.
LG.
The last
LG.
LG. Excellent. You all have passed. So that was the quick tagline game that we had. Now let's move on with our third section for today, that is the table topic section. Without further ado, let's welcome one of the most fun-loving member of our club, Toastmaster Shweta. She had once given her speech by singing for a complete 7 minutes. Can you beat that? With all the emotions intact, with a message for the audience as well, but in a sing-song manner. She is serving as a sergeant at arms in Speaker Squad Toastmasters Club. She had also served as a club officer last term. So let's welcome our super fun Toastmaster Shweta to conduct the table topic section today. Over to you, Shweta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika, for such a wonderful introduction. And I hope all of you are enjoying today's meeting. And now we are at the section 2 of today's meeting, which is the most fun and exciting section for today's meeting. So in this, our guests are also welcome to participate, and everybody else can participate. So here we have the opportunity to think on our feet and practice our impromptu speaking skill. This is, I find it challenging. That's why I encourage you all to challenge yourself and volunteer for today's table topics. So how it will work is, I'll ask for volunteers. When I get the volunteer, I'll give you a question or a topic on which you have to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. And there is no right or wrong answer. You are welcome to just present your perspective and your opinion. So that's what we are looking for. So with that, let's start today's table topic section. And I would like to have my first volunteer. Who'd like to go? Come on, participate.
Nivedita has raised her hand.
Okay, Nivedita, I'll give you a simple table topic. Suppose you are stuck in an elevator with a shark, say, and you have to pitch your brand for, you have to make a sales pitch for your favorite brand using a clear and concise language. So that is your topic.
Okay, maybe I need to understand it more. I didn't get that. So I'm stuck in a elevator with a shark, and then I'll have to give a speech.
Shark, I mean, in the sense, investor. So you have to you have to give a sales pitch for your favorite brand. So to convince him to invest in your brand.
Okay. Okay. What is my brand? I don't know. Okay. So we are in the era where we are like so obsessed with organic items. So my product would be called as Vidyanjali. So, and I'm sorry. Sorry, that was a little distraction. Well, yeah. If you're my investor, I would say, like, listen, the lifestyle, I don't know. Okay. The lifestyle these days is not the way it used to be. Like our parents, it was like well defined, and it was calm, composed. But these days, because of a lot of stress that we are facing on day-to-day basis, there is a lot of hair fall we are facing. And then I see within 30s, like they're almost 70% of their hair. So we have this product which is homemade, where we personally talk to our customer, and then we understand their lifestyle, and then we prepare a customized product for them. And then we have seen the result where, like, from 80% it is reduced to 50%. And our customer feedbacks are really good. You can actually Google it. We have a app as well prepared for a particular brand. So this is how the brand looks like. This is how this is the customer feedback that we have received. The prices are competitive as well. I would encourage you to use this product once. And as a first time user, we will be giving you a huge discount as well. Maybe you can try it and let us know how this product works.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nivedita.
I met your expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no expectation. I think you should start your own brand. We all face that problem, so we'll purchase your product definitely. So, who would like to go next? I see Richa. Okay, Richa. Okay, Sheetal also raised her hand. Okay, Sheetal, you'll be next.
Let Sheetal go if you want. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, Sheetal, we'll start with you. So your topic is talk about a brand you are personally loyal to and explain why you believe it has earned your loyalty.
So I think I became more brand conscious during the lockdown. So initially we used to go out shopping, right, looking at various things and then selecting. But during the lockdown, that option was not available. And it was easier to browse through the website and select what you like because you had always the option of returning things back if you don't like it. So, and then I realized, okay, it's so difficult. There are so many options available. It is not practically possible, go selecting everything. You don't like it, you return. So you stick to things. And yes, once I get used to, I usually stick to things. That is where I got used to Mango and Adidas. Okay, because the quality is good. I don't have to think about, okay, will the quality be good? Is the t-shirt going to be nice, etc. I just have to worry about the size. And once you know the brand, you know what size fits you also. You're aware of that. So the option of returning it back again and again also dies out. So that is where I got stuck to these two brands, Mango and Adidas. They are my favorite brands. And if I want anything, it is so easy. I don't have to worry about all the brands, look at very different options. I don't even now, even though I have this option of going out to the shop, looking at things and shopping, I don't like it anymore. I just enjoy opening the website and going over all the set of clothes that are available and choosing from it. It's very, very easy. It narrow downs the options for me. So I think that is why, because of the quality, I've stuck to these two brands. And nowadays, I just enjoy shopping online. That's all, Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheetal. Yeah, even I have started shopping online only because there is this easy option of returning. And because I return so much, all the Myntra and all the brands have tagged me as a person who returns all the products. So I think you have to be careful with that also. So next, I think Richa, you'll go. Okay. Okay, your topic is discuss about a famous brand logo and what makes it memorable and recognizable for you.
Brand logo. Okay, I need to take a look at Ritika's background, of which brand is memorable for me. Howsoever, to start with the brand, right, which makes it very memorable or very it stands out for me, specifically just logo wise, right? It's the logo of Nike being the tick, right, and with its tagline just saying just do it. I think they got it right, literally got it right, right? So that's the reason why it stands out for me is we all are so hell-bent on doing everything right that we never think about doing anything wrong. Whenever we all want that ticks, right? As a child also we wanted to have ticks in our answer sheets everywhere. The teacher across seemed to scare you away, or it's the thought of getting a cross in your answer sheet or in your notebooks used to make you think like there's something wrong with this. It's just not something which you should have with you. So seeing that Nike's logo, I always assume who would have been the person who thought that, just let's have this stick. It gives you the impression that it's like blazing fast, going in the direction, in one direction, unidirectional, blazing fast, right? Spear ahead. So it's also like half an arrow, blazes past it, right through it. And then I think there's also one ad, if I remember it right, where they put it like on fire or something, and that right is on fire. I do not remember. There's some ad or campaign I remember, which again gives that impression of that arrow spear heading in the direction where you want to go ahead. So that's one of the logo which strikes me if I ever think that a company which got it right. Nike is one of it which definitely got it right. And with the tagline that they have of just do it, it gives you that, just go ahead, do the thing, try it out, get it done with. Do not overthink. Do not, like we all, most of us here are overthinkers, right? We think 50 different things, but we hardly do even one. So yeah, just go ahead, do it. May or may not be with a Nike shoe, but still go ahead and do it. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. Who'd like to go next?
This will be the last volunteer in the interest of time. Yeah.
Okay, so there is Richard and Satya. So who should I choose? So let's give our area director a chance. So I'll go with you, Satya. So your topic is share a personal experience or memory that you associate with a specific brand. The brand which you grew up with or was there in your childhood.
Well, I'm still considered a child at heart, so let's just go with the one that I always keep using. Now, there's one brand that I'm quite loyal to, and that is Samsung. Now, I have chubby fingers. And whenever I used to use my previous mobiles, there was always a case where I would end up clicking too many buttons while I was just going to try for one. So when the Samsung Note came out, I jumped on that opportunity. And I have been using the Note series since the very first one. So the one memory that I've completely associated with that is the joy that I got with using the Note when the new Android launched for it, Android 4. Because prior to that, when I would scroll up, then I would swipe up and I'll just keep waiting. Then after like around a few seconds, then the screen will start moving. And that helped me develop patience, but that was not good when I was trying to type messages. Now, when the new Android 4 came out, Buttercup, I think, what had happened was the screen became very smooth. So I literally spent 1 hour doing nothing else but just scrolling up and down, because I would swipe and it would move immediately. I was sitting in office and I was just telling everyone about this new feature, and when the scroll happens, as soon as I move my finger up and down. And it was such a simple joy. Yeah, it sounds silly, but for me, it was such a very simple joy. So that sometimes, you don't need to have too many things. Just the simplest joys in life is what makes it count. And being able to scroll and watch it scroll immediately was one of the greatest pleasures I had for at least 1 hour of my life that day. So Samsung Note is what I'm stuck to, and I still use a different version of it. But that is one brand that I have been always loyal to.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya. With this, I think we should conclude our table topic section, and back to you, TM Modi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shweta. Let's give a big round of applause to Shweta and all our brave heart speakers today. So many stories, pitches or in a Shark Tank kind of a area, what we are loyal to, what we stick to, which tagline, which logo. Unknowingly, are we not taking our brands personally to heart? We feel safe that all right, there is one thing in our life that we are choosing and it is doing what we expect it to do. This is what brand does to us. Before I hand it over to our general evaluator Toastmaster Richa, let me again ask you all now, which is the first brand that comes to your mind?
Reliance.
Which one?
Reliance. I mean, like they're just everywhere.
That's true. That's true. and they're excelling everywhere as well. So,
Very much. Yeah.
yes, actually. All right, let's keep thinking about it so that we are more aware, and let's be more mindful as well when we pick up our brands. Be responsible because we are brand ambassadors for whichever brand we are using. Now, without further ado, let's welcome back DTM Richa with her general evaluation report. Over to you, DTM Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Hello, everyone. We are back in our general evaluation segment, which is the last segment of the meeting, and we'll start with the prepared speech evaluation. So our first speaker today, Toastmaster Shreya, will be evaluated by Toastmaster Amla. I hope I got your name right, the pronunciation, Toastmaster Amla. If not, please correct me. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. I am Toastmaster Amala. Yeah, that's fine. Toastmaster Shreya, how was your speech today? What do you think? You did a splendid job today. I have 3 things in bucket for you. The first one, what I loved most. The second part on the improvements. And the third part is on few challenges that I would suggest you to do. How you opened your speech today. You gave a quote and you opened your speech today. And then you asked a question. You connected with your audience, made sure the audience responded back to your question. And the question was so relatable to each and every one of us. Every one of us search for movie for half an hour and then we forget watching it and we get bored of. That is so relatable. You made everyone's presence there. You asked the question and got the response. So you made your audience connect to you from the beginning. And the transition from your introduction to your body. The speech where you started your personal story on the thyroid story, the research part and Googling whether it is thyroid and all the symptoms are present, and the acceptance part, and then moving on to the doctor and the questionnaires and how you gathered courage from it and how you went through the process and finally how you came out of it. All the personal story that you narrated today was excellent. And the humor here and there. To quote an example, the example of ghee on Rameshwaram Cafe Dosa that you gave as an example. The humor was here, there. And your voice was so soothing throughout your speech. And I felt like a lullaby. I could hear your voice all through the day. Your speech structure was awesome. You did a great job on it. And the conclusion, again, the conclusion, how you handled that stress and you felt that you got to know that cortisol was more and how you handle that stress and anxiety and how you can avoid overthinking. You also gave a tip to the audience on how it can be avoided. It cannot be stopped, but we can try to stop it. That's how you concluded your speech. On the objectives part, you have worked on your negatives and you have overcome on it, and you have given improvement as well. And on your speech part, as an improvement, what I would suggest is, I always felt, yeah, your voice was so soothing as a lullaby, but in between I could see this happening. You always corrected your earphones. Try to avoid that. That is not a intended motion, but you were correcting your headphones now and then, which was a little bit distracting. And your hand gestures were halfway cut. It was below the screen. So try to stand and speak so that your hand movements and your stage usage is better next time. And on the challenge part, I felt your conversation with the doctor. You had plenty of questions to the doctor and you had plenty of questions with yourself. So whenever you ask the doctor, like what tablet should I have or what should I have, you could give a pause to question, and you can also do a role play. You can be a doctor on side and you can be the Shreya on the other side, and you ask the question, react or reply, and then do the role play. That would be more impactful. Overall, your speech was excellent. You fulfilled your objective. You had humor in your speech. You had speech structure. Your voice was soothing. On the improvements part, work on your hand gestures and do not concentrate on your earphone and pauses between your speech. As a challenge, stand and deliver your speech and do a conversation or a role play. It was a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amla. I think you observed a lot from Toastmaster Shreya's speech, both the good and the points of improvement. And gave it in a very crisp way, summarized it well as well. Toastmaster Shreya, a humorous speech throughout. Since I've heard your previous speeches and I heard it again, I knew it would have humor in it, but you outdid yourself this time, I think, because your observation skills of the daily stuff that we do, like, we go and ask Google, and the symptoms which Google says, we have all of it, right? So plus the Rameshwaram dosa ghee and all those examples, I think you have a knack for humor. Work on it, keep doing it. It'll take you really, really far. Well done, both Toastmaster Shreya and Toastmaster Amala. Yeah, I got that right now. Uh, Coming to our next speaker, which is Toastmaster Sandeep and Toastmaster Sandeep's evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Satya.
Thank you, TM Ritika, and congratulations to my speaker for having met his objectives with regards to his speech. So good work on that. Now coming to the evaluation, let me start off with the things that I liked about the speech. Now, the content was quite good. I really liked the content and the way in which you had started off, because giving the various ways in which we perceive what a mentor is supposed to be, right? Someone to boss over, someone to just go to for help, or someone who helps you throughout. So that was great over there. And also it was and you had quite relatable points to support as well. Like when you are talking about the flight having always a constant contact with the tower, because even though you know where the chart is, even a slight deviation can deviate the whole thing. And a mentor and a mentee relationship is also very similar. You do chart out your course, but then a constant checkup is required every now and then. And also your examples on what you felt like when you were being mentored, and also how you relieve stress. So these are all various points, good points in which the way you went about it. I like the point about the family circle, friend circle, and the relative circle. Not able to find anyone over there. Now coming to the places where I thought you can improve it more is with regards to some of the placement of a few contents. Like for example, you spoke about the 3F approach of the mentor. Now, since you had not mentioned it previously, when you suddenly say a 3F approach, we don't know what it is, and we still don't know what it is about. So I feel you could have brought it up much earlier in the speech itself and given an explanation of what it is, so that a callback later on would have been much greater. The impact of it would have been much greater, because you just mentioned 3F and this just kept moving. So maybe I thought that could have come up much earlier. And two things that I want you to check on in your future speeches. One, please try and avoiding the virtual background. This is something, because it was me. I'm not sure if it was everyone else. There are scratches on your this thing, which, and I'm not sure if that comes up or not, but I was getting distracted by that every now and then. We're seeing scratches on your virtual background. I wasn't sure if that was your speech, that was the background. Maybe it's just me, but that did happen. Also, eye contact. Given that you're in a virtual space, please just look into the camera and speak, irrespective of any other emotion that you're having, because there were times when you look into the side, looking down, and predominantly throughout the speech, you're looking onto the screen and not into the camera. So try and avoid that and just look into the camera every time you are speaking, just so that it connects with the audience better, rather than they think you are looking at somewhere else and not completely paying attention to them, or give the idea that maybe you're looking into the speech. So let's not give them any such notion at all. Apart from that, congratulations on having met your objectives. Great work on that, and all the best for your future speeches. Over to you, DTM Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya and Toastmaster Sandeep. As usual, your speeches bring out a very different perspective. Sometimes I believe it's all of your speeches are always inspiring and motivating to, make yourself better. And I really like to hear a lot of your speeches. And Toastmaster Satya, your evaluation, you always pick points which I end up not thinking about some of the times, but very good points as such. Toastmaster Sandeep, if I were to mention, this is something very, very personal. However, when you mentioned about mentor in the beginning, right, you always used the pronoun he. So this is something which we all are biased towards, but as the world is moving towards more gender equity roles or pronouns as such, let's all try and not use the word he or she whenever we do not know whether the person in front is of a particular gender or not. There's something, just a tip for specific to you, but for all of us. I mean, even I have that bias, right? We all are ingrained with that. With that, let's move on to tag team report, the timer of the day. Toastmaster Ramesh, over to you for the timer report.
Thank you, Richa. Good morning, everyone. As a timer, I have noted down all the time taken by each speakers, evaluators. So great thing is most of us completed their speech and evaluation within a stipulated time, except Toastmaster Amala. Okay, I'll come up with the order way. Like speaker 1, Shreya took 7 minutes 18 seconds. Speaker 2, Sandeep took 7 minutes 14 seconds. In the evaluator session, Toastmaster Amala took 3 minutes 43 seconds, just 13 seconds away from the stipulated time. Satya took 3 minutes 17 seconds. The TTM session, there were 4 speakers. The speaker 1, Nivedita, took 1 minute 48 seconds. And Toastmaster Sheetal has given a competition. She took also same time 1 minute 48 seconds. Toastmaster Richa took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Today I'm surprised she finished within stipulated time. Toastmaster Satya took 1 minute 59 seconds. So that's it from my end. Over to you, Toastmaster Richa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh. Yes, I have been overshooting my time in the last few meetings a lot. Toastmaster Nivedita, over to you for the counter report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. Well, I was very impressed with today's speeches because I was trying hard to find the filler words and sounds, but I was not able to pick any. So my report is 0 for the day. So I've not listed anything. So yeah.
No accounts for
Good
the
job,
day.
everyone.
I'm not sure whether the
I don't know. I mean,
is
like,
a
I'm
happy
feeling very
person.
bad because I picked this role for the first time with the hope that I can fill it with so many numbers. But yeah, I'm very happy, and it's a great learning for me as well. The way you guys are actually delivering the speeches. So yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
The R counter says no accounts for the day, so we all can go and party after this. Toastmaster Shrija, over to you for the grammarian report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa. So as a grammarian too, it was a wonderful session. Big shout out to Toastmaster Richa, Toastmaster Ritika, and Toastmaster Shreya for the usage of the word vamoose. And good usage of some of words which I would like to call out is forte, protrude, stoic, ponder, mustard, and usage of words combined, suspicion deepened, blanked with fear. These were some of the good call outs. Something that we could look to improve on is something that I'm going to call out now. Someone used whenever before I reach out to them. I think what the speaker wanted to say was before I reach out to them, I always ... The other one was little bit distracting. I think what would help is that is a bit distracting. So that's the only findings that I could. Overall, great session, great work. Back to you, Toastmaster Rich.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shrija, and to the entire tag team. It's time for the general evaluation report. As usual, our speaker squad club is known for quality meetings, and I'm super happy general evaluated today with the meeting, with the quality of the speeches, the Toastmaster of the day, the reports, all the evaluations, and the table topics section today, right? I thoroughly enjoyed it right from the start up until now, and I'm sure the next 5 to 10 minutes that we have will also be super fun. So let's start with some of the things which I think we could improve on. Well, we do a lot of things right, but I want to highlight a few things which we can improve on. One, we all joined in before time, which is great. However, still we started the meeting at 10:03. So Sergeant at Arms, make sure the moment it strikes 10, if you are in, if all the role takers are in, you start. You do not wait for anyone else, right? So let's not wait those 3 minutes. We can have one table topics extra in that time. So let's be mindful. The second thing, how many of you actually took a look at the agenda shared by our secretary, Toastmaster Deepa, in the group? Wow, so many of them. Do you know what was the timing mentioned for prepared speech section? At what time it should have started? Toastmaster Richard is shaking his head. And what time did it actually start?
Started at 10:30.
Yes, almost the time when it was supposed to complete. So either the XCOM team needs to look at the agenda and revise it, or we need to be mindful of the timing so that everyone gets sufficient time, all the role takers get sufficient time. The third thing, which I would like to call out, is spotlighting. I am not sure who was the one spotlighting speakers. However, I noticed that when the speaker had started speaking, we ended up spotlighting them. Let us avoid doing that, because what happens is, I'm not sure how it happens on team, but speaker may lose the timer screen, which can create issues. So we again as XCOM team need to work with our area director and figure out team setting, because this is what it is. Like it or not, we are going to have teams for the rest of our year. So we need to figure out what is the best way to use this platform. So maybe 15 to 20 minutes of session should do the trick. So let us work with our area director and get this sorted. So the entire XCOM team. With that, I think with every role taker did a fantastic job today. We all have areas of improvement. That's okay. Let's all take that back and keep working on it. We'll definitely, if not our best, it was one of our very good sessions with 3 area directors house and even our division F director joining in, even though briefly. So we are doing good. Let's keep going and rocking as we always are. With that, back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richard. Let's again give a big round of applause to all our role takers today. I think everyone did a splendid job, and I must appreciate the energy, the vibe from all of you in the audience as well. Very good participation, very good energy over there as well. I hope all of you had a good time. And remember that brands don't make you, you make the brand. With that, I now hand it over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Richard, President of Speaker Squad. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. So can we have a huge round of applause to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ritika, for taking us through most of the brands that we are using or we are known for. With that, let me share the voting link. As I share the voting link, I have few announcements to make. So while you go ahead and vote for your favorites, let me make some announcements. Tomorrow there is an area event, area F1 event at 10:30. It is packed with 4 speakers, 4 evaluators, and an education session by a DTM Abhinav Kashyap. So please join in at 10:30 and have an amazing time and learn a lot of things which you can take away from a 2-hour session tomorrow. The next thing that I want to also make a note is that Toastmaster Deepa has created a role taker scheduler for the entire year. So in the group description, there is a link. So whenever you're free, you know yourself better. When you're free, when you want to give a speech, it can be in the month of September, October, November. So please go book your slots there, and let's not wait for the nth minute to pick up a speaking slot, evaluate a slot. So please go ahead and nominate yourself for those slots. Last but not the least, it's a proud moment for the Speaker Squad Club. We have a DTM amongst us. So can we all give a huge round of applause to DTM Richa Agarwal. Congratulations again, DTM Richa.
Thank you.
Well, let me announce the winners now. The best role taker is General Evaluator Richa, DTM Richa. Best auxiliary role taker by a huge margin is Srija. Best table topic speaker, Toastmaster Satya. Best speaker is Toastmaster Shreya. Best evaluator is Toastmaster Amala. And we have some interesting themes for next week: sound of music, emotions of festivals, seek for help, Onam. Oh, there is Onam coming next week, is it? And the last theme is cartoon. With that, I have a closing thought for every one of us since we have gone through a lot of brands. Products are made in a factory, but brands are created in the mind. So with that, please put away your chairs. Have a great weekend. Meeting adjourned.